The following podcast may contain adult language and conversations revolving around situations not suitable for immature audiences. Spoilers and general political incorrectness can often be expected, so listener discretion is advised.
They must be destroyed on sight!
All right, we're back for a little bonus episode of They Must Be Destroyed on Sight movie podcast, and I'm joined by Paul. How are you doing, sir?
Hello, good. Glad to be back.
Excellent. We sort of devised this on the fly after we recorded our latest episode of Italian Horror Month, or our series, or whatever the hell we're calling it. And we were just sort of thinking, what could we do for some little bonus episodes? And seeing as how this podcast, although it's not strictly horror, it does sort of lean towards horror more often than not. So let's do what every other horror podcast out there does and do the cliched favorite Halloween movies list.
Yay! Yeah. Cliche!
I think it's probably the second most used cliche for podcasts that do horror movies, after actually just doing like a whole series on the Halloween movie series. So, yeah. So we decided we were just going to do some lists up of basically our favorite movies to watch on or around Halloween, and then we'd also throw in some like bonus ones that we consider like sort of like fun party Halloween movies, like to have some friends over and drink and enjoy. I think our main lists are going to be a bit more conventional and maybe a bit more serious. I'd say in a way, maybe.
No, we don't get serious. It's just conventional. I use that word. All boring. Right. This is a boring show. It's boring.
Okay, so I guess we'll just go back and forth. I'll get you to read one of your picks off your first list there, Paul.
Okay. My first one is the classic 1968 film Night of the Living Dead, and I watch it every Halloween. Many people watch horror movies. You'll see this movie in like half the movies you watch because someone's playing it on a TV somewhere. Yeah. So that's really fun. I always like to pick it out when I see it in movies. But yeah, this is the iconic film for me.
I guess James Rolfe there, the angry video game nerd, for his Cinemassacre channel, he's got this great series on like old horror movies and stuff like that, and he did some pretty extensive coverage of like the Night of the Living Dead locations and stuff, didn't he? So like look for that. You know, if you haven't seen it yet, you know, if you just got on the internet yesterday or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know when this is going up, but if you're in Pennsylvania at all or can make it on the 9th of October, which is, you still got a few days away, they're having a special night, day, dawn. I guess the convention is called basically a Night of Living Dead convention in Evans City with a whole bunch of people that are going to be there, and they're going to do tours of locations and screenings of videos and everything. So make it if you can.
Cool. This is probably going to go up on the same day as the second part of our Italian horror series. It's just a little bonus content. So
yeah, I mean, if you're in the area and you know short drive, go check it out. Free admission, and then you just pay for whatever you get there and do. So there you go.
I'll do a pick off my list here. I'll say 1979's Phantasm is one I generally watch.
Nice.
In October. The whole movie just feels like October to me. Just, you know, the tall man in his mortician's suit walking around going, boy, boy. Yeah.
I met Angus Scrimm.
Have you? Sweet.
Yep, he's a very nice guy.
That's what I always hear. Everyone says, I've never heard anyone say that he was a dick. So.
No, he's like the nice grandpa.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that he's going to actually get to play the tall man one last time in Phantasm 5, because let's face it, it's going to be the last time. He's getting up there in years.
He's been up there.
Yeah, he's been up there in years, his whole career pretty much, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's in a really great movie that I was going to put on this list, and I didn't, but I'll just say it anyway. It's called Mind Warp. It's very epic but little known Bruce Campbell film. You have to see it.
Right on.
There you go.
Right on. But yeah, I like Phantasm. I like the little Jawa ripoff dwarf monsters. And yeah, it's just a mindfuck movie. It's one that doesn't make much sense at all because it's all sort of like dream logic kind of thing. So it's almost like an American Fulci film in some ways.
I love all the pictures of him, the old time pictures where he's like they kind of zoom in and there's a little live action picture and it zooms back out. I love when they do that in the film.
Yeah,
and they really make him crazy, picking up caskets by himself and just walking around, and it's a great film.
Yeah,
and big boobs, but on a kind of an ugly woman, but big boobs.
All right, so we'll go for the second one off your list there, Paul.
Well, I'm going to go with another one made by the same person who helped write Night of the Living Dead, John Russo, is Midnight. This is a movie that I've only been into for a very short amount of time, few years now, because I didn't know of it. But once I've watched it, I can't stop watching it. It's one of those kind of films. Definitely has a vibe of Night of the Living Dead, plus with a nice little Texas Chainsaw vibe to it too. It's pretty interesting. Definitely check it out if you can.
Cool. I've never seen that one. What's the plot?
Well, I didn't know if it had a plot. I can't remember. I've never watched it. It's different. It's a different style to this movie. At first, it comes off as it starts with a family killing the demons, killing the evil or whatever, and then they end up like killing like people that are local to them. That's the beginning of the film. Then it cuts off into this more teenager film where the teenager has to run away from home. She gets picked up by two people in a van, and she's hitchhiking basically, a white man and a black man, boys, people, teenagers, whatever. And they basically are heading down to someplace, this magical land, south of where they got picked up. And then they go and basically, because they're both they all have no money, so they end up like stealing groceries and stuff. It's pretty interesting. The film plays on race a little bit because they go into Pennsylvania. They're in Pennsylvania town, and they go there, and basically they go into a bar and they say, basically, we don't serve people like you, and this and that, and the whole deal. I've been in Pennsylvania for many years. I've never been in a bar where they've actually said anything like that in person, so I don't think that's true. I mean, we keep our racism to ourselves, damn it.
That's right.
We'll serve you, but we won't be happy about it. They go camping to get away from the people. They drive up this, in the middle of nowhere and go camping. Well, and then they find these people, and you think they're cops, but they're not. And then they kill things, and the girl gets mixed up, and they're trying to kill the girl and sacrificing Satan. All that kind of comes back out. It's pretty interesting. It's got a couple different twists and turns. It's a basic movie. It's got it's a little simplistic at times, but I do enjoy it. So it's definitely, it's not straightforward. It's got a couple different things going on, little angles in it, but definitely go check it out. Yeah. I'd like to see what you think about it. I'm sure you can find it on the interwebs.
The first little bit you were talking about there almost reminds me of Frailty with Bill Paxton and
oh, okay. Yeah.
Their dad goes crazy. We got to start killing demons.
Yeah. Demons.
Awesome.
Kill the demons.
Okay, another one off my list. I'll just go for fuck it. I'm sure these are both on your list as well, so I'll just go for the obvious. Halloween and Halloween 2, I just counted them as one entry because... That's
the funny thing is you'd think they would be on my list, but they are.
Yeah, I picked those, and this picked them as one entry because honestly, I do tend to watch them back to back.
They have to go back to back. You have to watch them back to back. Yeah,
because it all takes place during the night he came home.
My father is the one who introduced me to Halloween way back when I was a kid, and that's when I wanted. Like he did Jaws and Halloween, and those are two films that have been with me forever. So,
and I mean, I don't know what else we can say about Halloween other than it's both the most cliched pick for a list about Halloween movies and probably the most apt at the same time. I like Halloween 2. The more I watch it, the more I like it. Before I was sort of in the mindset that it's kind of lazy because it just has a bit more gore going on to try to, make it more interesting. But after watching it so many times now, I actually come to think of it as being pretty much on par with the original. So
I always look at them. I know this is incorrect, and I'll get yelled at by horror elitists, but I always look at them as one movie.
Yeah,
and it also helps because I watch them in succession all the time. So I just look at them as one movie.
Yeah. All right. Move back to your list there, Paul.
Well, you took two of mine. Thanks a lot. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I watch it every Halloween too. But I watch most of these movies consecutively during the year, let alone just on Halloween. But as far as Halloween goes, this is definitely on my list of just the classics. Got to pull out some classics, you know what I mean, on Halloween. So definitely Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You don't really need to talk about it. It's Texas Chainsaw fucking Massacre.
Yeah, good pick. Another one I'll go for is Pet Sematary from 1989.
That road.
Yeah, that road. You
It's
know,
where the dead speak.
I don't know if I'm sounding like I'm from New England or if I'm just fucking Jimmy Stewart.
I'm strapping one on you, Jimmy. Yeah.
There's a suspicious looking kid over there.
Oh wow, that was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't go back there into that burial ground. That's where the Micmac used to bury their dead.
Yeah, I like that film. I don't like part 2 as much.
No, part two is the only thing part 2's got going for it is Clancy Brown, who's fucking batshit crazy in it. But
yeah,
but the rest of it is, the story is it's lame. And Edward Furlong, that's back when he was still famous. I think that's like pretty much the only reason that film really gets any notice anymore is because Edward Furlong was in it, and that dude from ER, Anthony Edwards, he was in it. Yeah, that movie kind of sucks. The original's the best because it's just, there's nothing played for laughs. I mean, it's just a fucking brutal, desolate, hopeless kind of film, having a kid get run over by a fucking truck on the road.
Yeah, that's Gage, right?
Yeah, Gage coming back, possessed by an evil spirit, coming after his dad with a fucking scalpel or whatever it was.
Really screws up the mom when she falls out of the attic. She's really messed up. Yeah, I mean that it has a lot of stuff. And Fred Gwynn. I mean, I'm just happy that Fred Gwynn was in another movie. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So.
Yeah, it was good to see him in a horror movie, and I also like the flashbacks Denise Crosby's character has of her sister that had like that really bad spinal disease or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah,
her sister Zelda, and
the creepy ass sister.
Yeah, there's just a lot of fucking like freaky fucking shit in that film, and I tend to watch it a lot around October. It's another one that feels like fucking October. I mean, whenever I think of Maine, I usually think of like the fall and fucking dead leaves and stuff like that. So
I always think about the smashed lobster pot on the rocks with the chowder. Very stereotypical, I know.
And I always think about how his boy came back from the war all messed up. He started walking around crazy, like we had to put him down again. Yeah,
I actually haven't watched that film in years.
I like the way it's just like Stephen King actually borrowed from another pick on my list here that I'll get to eventually. But like that whole story that Gwen's fucking character Judd talks about how they tried burying someone up in the pet cemetery at one point in the after effects of that. Yeah, it was just really, really good. So yeah, so we'll go back to another pick on your list there, Paul.
I'm going straight to classics again. This is Vincent Price's Last Man on Earth. One of the films that basically made all the other films on my list possible. Basically.
Yeah.
So there you go. If anybody hasn't seen it, it's definitely something you should see. A very apocalyptic. He's cleaning up the place, living by himself. There's these kind of roamers going around that are like vampires, and it's really creepy. One thing I noticed about like something that Night of the Living Dead also shares is the beginning of the film already sets you into the creepy ass atmosphere you need to be. Yeah. The music, and then the scenes of death and just solitude everywhere. It's beautiful.
Yeah, all the bodies like wrapped up and
just laying around and great.
Yeah, it is a creepy. It's got real creepy imagery, and the fact that I think all of it was shot in Italy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was shot in Italy. Yep.
Yeah. So although it's trying to pass off as an American city, it's like obviously not one. So it's kind of got a weird vibe to it. It just feels kind of off and not right, and so it works really well. It's still a pretty effective film, I think. So
yeah. Absolutely.
Good pick. Next one I'm going to go for is two more. I'm just picking as one pick. I'm going to go with Creepshow and Creepshow 2.
Okay, yeah.
And I always like to watch these ones back to back too.
I can hold my breath for a long time.
Yeah. I like Creepshow 1 a lot more than I like Creepshow 2. Creepshow 2 has its charms. I think the only problem with Creepshow 2 is that as kind of funny as the last story in it is, it's kind of weak as well to a certain degree. This the one with the hitchhiker or whatever that lady runs over.
Thanks for the ride, lady.
Thanks for the ride, lady.
I like my favorite from them is the crate is my favorite.
The crate's awesome. Yeah.
But I also do like the Wooden Indian and the raft. I like them as well. But the crate's my favorite.
Yeah, I like.
Just tell them to call you Billy.
Just tell them to call you Billy.
Adrienne Barbeau, she's one of those ones. The face has always been a little bit off for me, but look at those tits.
Yeah, Swamp Thing.
Yep.
Made that movie. Good casting there, Wes. Fucking Creepshow 2. Who's it? I keep getting. It's George Kennedy. Yeah, George Kennedy is the old guy in the old Chief Woodenhead thing. Like that's actually a pretty good segment. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. We'll go back to another pick for you there, Paul.
Okay. This is one I got a long time ago in a dollar bin because of Halloween. Yeah, they make these dollar bin movies for Halloween. It's great. Mm-hmm. Werewolf vs. Vampire Woman, a Paul Naschy film from the 70s. Definitely cool. Super cool vibes going on in there. Vampire vibes, misty fogs, catacombs, caves. Awesome, shitty overdub acting. It's great. Of course, Paul Naschy for me I'm a big fan of Paul Naschy, especially now. But this was my first film introducing me to the Spanish horror scene, so definitely check it out. And like I said, you could probably generally find it for $1.
Yeah. Although if I were you, I'd try to find like a half decent version that's like uncut or whatever, and that might be a little bit harder to do, but it's definitely floating around on just about every one of those fucking like Mill Creek fucking.
Absolutely, Mill Creek. Thank you for showing me tons of shit, and literally I mean shit.
That's one of the best things about those Mill Creek things, though, is introduce you to films that you didn't know existed, and often under a different title than what it showed up as here.
The best thing is, like, you will buy a Mill Creek thing. Let's just say it's one of the 50 movies for $20.
Yeah,
you're guaranteed to get 10 awesome films for $20. How can you know what I mean? Like, the other 40 might be craptastic, but 10 of them are going to be awesome.
Yeah, I can't begin to count how many really interesting films I've found on those that I just didn't know about.
One of the films I just love. I watch it all the time. I know it's the Ivan Marks kind of mockumentary or whatever technically.
Oh, Legend of Bigfoot.
I love Legend of Bigfoot. I love it so much. I watch it all the time. I love that. That's on there. The Naked Massacre, The Bat. Sometimes Phantom of the Opera's on there. Hunchback of Notre Dame is on there. Night of the Living Dead, of course. Last Man on Earth. Werewolf vs. the Vampire. Werewolves in a Girl's Dormitory is on there sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you said, we could just go on because there's just so many damn good films. It's amazing.
Yeah, and you often get these really obscure American releases and stuff like that maybe even never made it to a drive-in theater in their day. They just kind of got shelved. And
plus you can get really cool ones that just show a whole style that most people missed, like Atomic Age Vampire. You know what I mean? Like things like that you normally won't see on general TV. They just don't play them, and honestly, they could be $49.99. They could be $1 a piece and it's okay, because as long as Oasis of the Zombies is on there, that's worth $50 alone. Because just ask Daniel, he'll tell you worth all the money in the world.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a big fan of that one.
He is. He's gonna get it tattooed to his chest, but he's got to shave off that big mane he's got on his belly.
Yeah, I don't think his wife will let him do that though.
Oh, I want to lick it.
All right, we'll move back to a pick from me. I'll go with Prince of Darkness, 1987, John Carpenter's.
That was boring as piss to me.
Was it?
Yeah, I think I always thought it was really funny that Alice Cooper was supposed to be in it, and all he does is walk around and stare.
Yeah, Alice Cooper's in it for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
he gets to kill one guy.
It's kind of creepy though. I mean, with all the hobos and stuff like that kind of stand around, and they screw people up pretty good. So I mean, it is really interesting, and the aura that's coming out of this relic is pretty cool too. So
sort of mixes up religion with science, and it's kind of a Lovecraftian kind of vibe to it, where it's there's no actual god or devil. It's more like the thing in the vial or whatever that breaks out is the anti-god, or just some sort of ultimate evil presence.
It's the yin and yang of an alternate, an ultimate entity. It's a yin and yang kind of an idea, and it's very interesting. It's the unnameable, basically, but within this kind of cosmic realm. I like the film, but it doesn't move fast enough, especially for today's standard. I think the film doesn't move, and it doesn't. And the thing is about it not moving very fast enough. It only poses questions instead of answers while it's not moving fast enough. What is it? I don't know. What is it? I don't know. What is it? I still don't know.
I like it for that, though, honestly. I like that it doesn't really explain too much. I like it has that twist ending at the very end there where they were getting these signals from the future, trying to warn them about what was going to happen. And,
right.
Yeah.
This is not a dream. Not a dream. We are using your brain's electrical system as a receiver. We are unable to transmit through conscious neural interference. You are receiving this broadcast as a dream. We are transmitting from the year 1999. You are receiving this broadcast in order to alter the events you are seeing. Our technology has now developed a transmitter strong enough to reach your conscious state of awareness. But this is not a dream. You are seeing what is actually occurring for the purpose of causality violation. This broadcast will be received by the perceptual centers as a dream. But this is not a dream.
I do appreciate the green cum shots.
Yeah.
I did appreciate that.
But I like the scene where the one guy who left, he gets killed, and then he's standing out there being used as like a messenger for the people inside the building.
Hello. 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 I've got a message for you, and you're not going to like it. Pray for death.
Mm-hmm. And he's slowly turning into bugs. There's leaking out there. I find it really creepy. I think it is a little slow. Donald Pleasance overacts a little too much. I mean, I enjoy him when he overacts, but here he was like just flying off the fucking walls while everyone else is playing it like dead straight. There was a bit of a clash there, but overall, I think it's a really awesome movie, and I've been watching it a lot lately, especially since I got it on my Scream Factory DVD, which is fucking awesome. There's
two other Donald Pleasance films that a lot of people don't know about, and hopefully you could get them on those packs that we were talking about. One that is worth watching is called Land of the Minotaur.
Yeah,
definitely worth watching. And the other one that I enjoyed was called Night Creature.
Never heard of Night Creature.
Definitely check it out.
Yeah, all right. So back to you for another pick, Paul.
Okay, iconic again. Evil Dead. Gotta watch Evil Dead. That could go on either one. You could either have a pizza party with that motherfucker or just watch it by yourself. Because it's Evil Dead.
Well, honestly, I'd say the first Evil Dead is more of a watch by yourself, and Evil Dead 2 would be the pizza party one.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because Evil Dead 2 really ramps up the comedy and, really starts making Ash the character we know today.
I could probably amount to a year of my life complete where I've gone to bed and woke up to the sound of the screen playing on the DVD player when I woke up.
Yeah,
because that's how much times that we've watched that growing up with our friends and everything. It's one of those films that is going to live forever with us.
Yeah, good pick. I'll go with Death Dream, also known as Dead of Night from 1974, a Canadian-made horror film. I alluded to earlier in my pick of Pet Sematary that there's a little mini flashback story that essentially rips the story from this film and uses it. The story is about a young kid who goes, small town kid goes to Vietnam and dies there, but one night he shows back up home, and they presume maybe it was he was falsely identified as being killed over the seas, but it's obvious there's something wrong with him, and he's slowly starting to turn into this kind of zombie creature who is needs blood to survive. So he's totally soulless, and he's going around killing people, and his parents are trying to cover it up, and because they just can't deal with the trauma of him being dead, so they won't let it go. And it's got sort of allusions to the monkey's paw to a certain degree as well, and because they're sort of They at the beginning of the film, they sort of wish for him to not be dead, and so it's kind of alluded to that maybe he came back because of them. And it's really good. It's a really creepy fucking film, man. Like, there's just one scene he goes to the drive-in with his friends. His old girlfriend or whatever is along there with him to try to sort of rekindle something, and he just goes batshit. Like, his thirst for blood makes him start back into recess into his sort of zombie mode, and he kills his ex-girlfriend or whatever, and it's pretty fucking brutal. It's like right up there with the brutal kill of I guess the character's Annie in Halloween, the strangling in the car there.
Yeah.
So it's really, really well done. It's a very, very, very creepy film.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. So it goes by Death Dream or Dead of Night.
It's kind of weird. It's like Prowler meets Zombie meets Enemy Within.
Yeah,
with Emilio Estevez, where he gets all ape shit from being in the war. Is that it?
Yeah, something like that. Like, it is a commentary on like post-traumatic stress as well in the war, and how the war affected American society and stuff, the Vietnam War. So like there are those elements in there as well. But of course, he happens to come back with PTSD of a different kind, I guess. But it is really creepy, especially when he reverts
post-traumatic zombification disorder.
Yeah.
PTSD.
Yeah. Because when he reverts back to his zombie mode, he's just like super creepy. He's this like vampiric zombie kind of thing, and it's just really freaky as fuck. So
right,
yeah. So go back to a pick from you, Paul.
Well, I'm actually finishing out my list because you took two away.
Well, technically you would have took two away from me if you picked those ones. So
yeah, but I would have felt better about that.
Yeah,
because I'm the winner. But now no. I'm going super cheesy on the end and fun because Halloween is for my whole family, not just me. Who am I fucking kidding? I'm watching these. I don't care if my family's there or not. I'm just going to say both of them, and then we'll finish up your list, and then we'll go on to the other ones. These are kiddie movies, but these are movies that have always been with me, and I love them. Is Hocus Pocus, and I always watch Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, every fucking Halloween, and I don't care. If it makes me less of a man, I'm not much of a man to begin with anyway, so there you go.
Nice. All right. Well, I'll just I'll throw here quickly the last few ones on my main list. I'll mention one that we're going to be doing next week, Black Sabbath from 1963. Love that one. It's one of my favorite anthology horror films. Save the review for next week. I'll also mention Sleepy Hollow from 1999. Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci and cameo from Christopher Lee in there, and I really like that one. I think it perfectly sort of captures like Halloween kind of imagery or whatever. So it's one of Tim Burton's better films, I think. And of course, Christopher Walken as the Headless Horseman is pretty fucking badass in that film. So it's really good.
I'll have to watch it again. I just never enjoyed it, so I'll have to watch it and see if I've changed. See if I can look at the film a little differently.
I'll mention Dawn of the Dead from 1978.
It's a good one. That's the one I was actually thinking about putting on my party list, but I didn't. So I knew you were going to mention it, so I was like, let's leave it off.
That's one of the ones I watch all the time anyway, but
exactly.
I especially watch it at least once or twice in October. So
yeah.
So that's a good one. And finally on my main list, I will just mention the 1979 remake of Nosferatu.
Klaus Kinski.
My favorite vampire film, and that's one I always watch around Halloween. I do watch it a couple times a year, but especially Halloween has become a sort of a mainstay in my rotation.
Our fire's burning bright, pumpkin faces in the night. I remember Halloween, they cats, hacking footballs, little dead around his door. I remember Halloween. Finally let it go, where skeleton life is over. I remember Halloween. Formulae uteris ipsis morum et excommunicationum strigus et vitus lupus crudere. Bellum lupinum, in tronco, quorum, qua labores occultandum.
Okay, I guess we can move on to our sort of more party, fun Halloween movies kind of list. Yeah, so I'll let you go with your first pick, Paul.
Okie dokie. All right, we're going to get a little cameo from Gunnar Henson in this one. This is Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Great fun film. Lots of boobs, lots of blood. There you go. Simplistic. These are all simplistic. Easy, easy forward. Boobs and blood. Let's go.
One I'll pick is Return of the Living Dead. There's another one that's all boobs and blood, pretty much.
Yeah, well, that's a fun one. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one I used to watch with my friends all the time back in the days when we were still renting VHSs and stuff. Like
I can just hear the guy in my head. Oh God! Oh yeah. God!
I love that one. It's a great little satire as well. It just makes fun of like 80s culture, like to a T. I mean, you got Linnea Quigley dancing on those tombstones with those leggings on and nothing else.
Yeah. One thing that always ticked me off is I saw on the U of Tubes that someone made a top 10 worst monsters and they put the Tar Man on it.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? The Tar Man is awesome.
They gotta be fucking shitting me, man. Tar Man's fucking badass.
It is badass, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just that scene where he bites into the dude's head there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a big candied apple, huh?
Yeah.
There it is.
Like the main punk rock guy who was actually like a decent guy who was trying to look out for everybody.
Yeah.
And he just gets bit for his trouble.
And he like talks. And that was different. You know, that's just different. If you go from Night of the Living Dead and watch that, it's like completely changed. It's weird. I do like the military's fucked up again. I like that. I like that kind of play on the problematic situation of they just ended up here. We don't know what the fuck. Well, you want to see it? Cool. Yeah. I was watching Dawn of the Dead, and I just got done watching The Crazies. And he was talking about like, well, look at these things. I mean, everyone screws up. The military. Look how many times the military's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, and how you can't really depend on anybody. I mean, you have to know what to do because at some point in time, everything can get out of hand because everyone screws up. You can't even order a burger without having someone screw it up. You know what I mean? And it was just a real fun thing. And Return of the Living Dead definitely plays on that. It's really fun.
Yeah, and even if you manage to save the day, the military's just going to nuke your town anyway. So. Yep. All right, back to another one from you, Paul.
This is one that I watched a couple of years ago with some friends, and it was a good film to watch. Is 976 Evil.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Was it Stephen Joffrey?
Think so.
Joffrey. Yeah. Yep. And not the Stephen Joffrey films where he gets a different name and does hardcore gay porn. I'm talking about completely different style film.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say avoid the sequel to that one though.
No, yeah.
I have the sequel. I don't have the original for some reason, but I do have the sequel.
I mean, obviously, Stephen Joffrey from the well-known Fright Night.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Brewster, you're so cool.
You're so cool, Brewster.
Yeah.
To what do I owe this dubious pleasure? Oh,
and of course, in the remake, the part of Evil Ed was played by that fucking McLovin kid.
I don't know. Didn't watch the remake.
You didn't miss much.
Can't do it.
Colin Farrell as the vampire and the McLovin.
I like Colin Farrell, but I don't want to watch it.
It's not a good movie.
Wasn't David Tennant in it doing something too?
He was playing the Roddy McDowall part.
Yeah. I don't know anybody who could play the Roddy McDowall part without making me angry, honestly, because I love Roddy McDowall so much.
Yeah.
Because Peter Cushing's dead and Roddy McDowall's dead. So basically, why do people make films anymore? I just don't get it. Don't bother. Bitter old man talking. Hold on, just back it up.
You know, I could actually see like someone like Ian McKellen maybe pulling off.
Yeah, because he's great. He's pretty much great.
So, all right, move back to a pick from me here. Night of the Demons from 1988.
That is great, and that introduced me to Bauhaus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, definitely a good film.
Yeah, it's got a fun soundtrack. It's got Linnea Quigley once again showing the goods and going all demon-possessed crazy and putting on lipstick and rubbing it all over her face and then shoving the lipstick tube up her tit. And
yeah, it's like, where does it go? It's like magic.
Yeah.
And just randomly snapping an Asian's neck while she's riding. It's like...
Yep. Jill Terashita.
Yeah.
After the first time I saw her, I was always looking for other movies with her in it, and it was only like one or two others that she was ever in. And
that movie definitely has some fantastic parts to it.
Mm-hmm. And she was in Sleepaway Camp 3.
3, yeah. I was just watching Sleepaway Camp or Slumber Party Massacre Part 2.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that one too because I was just watching Wings, and Crystal Bernard is the girl in Slumber Party Massacre Part 2.
Yeah.
But isn't Sleepaway Camp 3 Unhappy Campers or Teenage Wasteland? Teenage Wasteland, I think it is.
Teenage Wasteland, yep.
Yeah. I don't really care for the Return to Sleepaway Camp, the new one. I own it. It's not as good as 2 and 3. I kind of got used to that Angela, and now they brought the old Angela back. I'm kind of trying to get reused to it, I guess.
No, it just felt hokey by that point.
It did. Yeah.
All right, another pick from you there, Paul.
One that we've done on the channel here that I do like to watch, and it's definitely okay to put it in and have a good conversation while you're eating some pizza, filling some of the down parts, is Madman.
Yep.
And we've already covered it, so you guys know.
Yeah, so you already know how good it is. It's got the greatest theme song for a slasher movie ever.
Yep.
Long, long ago, the fifth wind blew. So the man's mind left him blood mad. He hid amongst the trees, appeared with the breeze to kill them and to drag off their bodies. A chill in the air, the scent of death crawling, full moon the witness, as one by one they trespassed his ground and chose to take chances, dragged into the black furrows in the ground. Dragged into the night, their bodies never found. On the night of the fifth wind, nothing could save them. There was no protection from the darkness and the doom. The wind held his mind, and a man turned to murder. Black gusts in the night, damp with their blood. Death's breath in the night, dripping their blood. Dripping their blood. Dripping their blood!
I will say The Gate from 1987.
Yeah, that's a good one. Don't watch
Yeah.
part 2.
No, part 2 is fucking terrible as shit, but The Gate's awesome. It's at that point where, like, in the culture where heavy metal guys could be nerds. So like one of the main characters is like a heavy metal nerd.
Play it backwards. So yes, Satan. I like it.
Yeah.
And it's a creepy film. I watched it when I was really young. It's creeped me out. It's just like the little clay demons and stuff. It's creepy. It's really creepy.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I think it's like, in a way, it's kind of almost like a sort of like a PG-13 kind of horror film to a certain degree, but it's got really creepy elements, and it's got, you know, like,
it's a little bit. It kind of goes to the it kind of tends to the idea of, you know, those goddamn kids and their devil music. You know, you got to be good Christian kids, or we're all gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, it plays on that a little bit, but other than that, it's actually a really cool movie. And the deaths and how they come back, and just, oh, now my friend's back from the wall, the guy in the wall, and oh man, it's a good film.
Your next pick there, Paul.
I put down Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Nice.
Because why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Hey man, it's corny, it's cheesy, it's fun, it's definitely worth watching. And if you haven't watched it, don't ever think this film will ever be serious ever. It's not. It's fun.
I kind of like part 2 as well.
Yes, I did too.
Early appearance by George Clooney.
Yep.
Yeah. Next one I'll mention is Trick or Treat from 1986, which is the sort of heavy
metal one. Yeah.
Yeah, where a rock star sacrifices himself or whatever, kills himself, and then he's brought back to life by his biggest fan. I think it was the guy who played Skip on
No, never mind. I'm thinking.
No, it was the TV show Family Ties. I think it was. He played.
Was it?
Yeah,
I think
it was.
Oh shit!
I think it was Family Ties. I can't remember which one it was, but he was one of those sitcom actors. But really fun. It's just goofy as fuck.
That's one I haven't watched in a very long time. I need to own that.
Yeah, there's sort of bit parts. One from Gene Simmons, back when he still had his original hair, I guess. And one is in a really fun one as Ozzy Osbourne as like a preacher preaching against devil music on a TV show. It's fucking fantastic.
And next week, we'll have with us in the studio a truly fine talent and beautiful personality, Miss Muffy Singleton. And we're back with evangelist and moral crusader, the Reverend Aaron Gilstrom, who's dropped by with some visual aids. We're talking today about rock pornography, and I'll have to agree with you. We have some pretty ribald stuff here. Those rockers really have a strange sense of humor, don't they?
I don't even think it's a sense of humor. I think they're just out-and-out sick people. I mean, and they're trying to make everyone else around them who listens to their music as sick as they are.
Reverend, let me ask you a question. This album, Do It Like a Dog. Now, this has to be about animal behavior, is that right?
Let me give you an example. I have one of the lyrics. You will right. Tell me what you honestly think it's
Go
about.
right ahead.
Gonna drive my long steel missile down on your love channel. Deep, deep, you'll beg for more. Raising hell and serpent score. Feel me, feel me. Now, what does that mean to you? To me, it means nothing but a sexual act. Demonic beast. What happened to the good old simple love song? I love you. That's a good word to use. Nowadays, they have to write some sickness. It's just absolutely sick and bizarre, and I'm going to do my utmost best to try and stop it now.
Anything you'd like to say in conclusion?
These evil people have just got to be stopped.
There you go. So you go into the, you know, hippie, the more hardcore Christian worrying about Satan, and the other one basically mocking the whole idea. I love it. I'm trying to think. There's a couple different movies now, or isn't there, with Trick or Treated in the title?
Yeah,
now?
there's another one as well that's on my list.
1983, right?
No,
What year was this? So I can write it down.
The one that recently came out, which
The
is
one that with the heavy metal guy in it.
Oh yeah, that one's from '86.
86. Okay, I'm writing it down. Thank you.
So next.
Oh no! Sorry, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Oh no! It's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. One of the greatest, funnest, bestest movies ever. And I love the creepiest part of the film. Besides the clowns being creepy, is when he uses the cop as a puppet.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's just it's great.
John Vernon.
Yep.
It was the dean, the evil. Everyone knows him as the evil dean in the Animal House, but yeah,
he's been a prick in almost everything he's been in.
Yeah, he just played an asshole really well.
I've seen him play cops a few times, and he's always a prick.
Yeah.
I got to introduce my kids to that movie at some point in time, and
that is one I would not let little kids watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna sprinkle popcorn all around their bed,
and then just outside their door start making little clown laughs.
Well, I already got a chance for my youngest daughter to watch Last Man on Earth, considering her name's Morgan. So I got a chance to watch that, and then I went up there and I started pounding on her door, going, Morgan, let me in. So that was fun.
Morgan.
I might be a bad dad. I don't know. I have to figure that.
You'll find out in about 20 years if your kid comes back and kills you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can make a horror movie out of me.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I guess I'll just go ahead and mention the other Trick or Treat. Trick apostrophe treat from 2007, which is an anthology film that's all tied together around this little sort of like demon thing that looks like a kid in a Halloween costume, but it's actually this little pumpkin-headed demon. I think his name's Sam, if I recall correctly. First time I watched this film, I didn't quite like it. I guess I was just really tired, so I wasn't following what was going on. But all the stories in it are interconnected around him, and he's essentially this enforcer for Halloween who enforces Halloween traditions. So if you break Halloween traditions, he'll come and fucking get you. It's a very fun, kind of grisly kind of film. A lot of good actors in it, interesting stories. And yeah, it's really worth checking out. Second time I watched it, I really loved it. And,
so is that the guy with basically like a sack bag over his head a little bit? Okay. Yeah,
it's really, really good, actually. I was pleasantly surprised. It took me right back to sort of like 80s style kind of horror movies. And like I said, first time I watched it, I must have been just really tired and wasn't paying attention as much. But second time I watched it, I really loved it. So yeah, really worth the time.
Sweet.
All right, your next pick, Paul.
Okay, another film that we've already covered, but another good one to watch with people is The Deadly Spawn.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Just good old fun times, just to revel in the gore. Mm-hmm. There is another alien movie that I can't think of that is just as fun to watch with people, and it's got this weird, cheesy, bad alien that almost looks like a scorpion, but a really badly made scorpion. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to remember what it is, and they're just running around it's killing people, and it basically like turns them into zombies, so they attack the other people and stuff, and it's a fun one, but I have to remember the name of it. I'll probably drop the name on the site at some point in time to check it out. It's a fun, really, really super cheesy, but really fun.
All right, next pick for me, I will go with, and my next two movies are by the same director, Fred Decker. First one I'm going to pick is The Monster Squad from 1987.
I'm wearing that shirt right now.
Are you? Sweet. I love that film. Really good sort of love letter to sort of the Universal monsters. It starts out, it's got sort of that Goonies kind of vibe to it. It feels like it's just going to be like a kid's movie, but there's some like dead serious kind of horror elements to it as well.
No, people actually like get killed in the film.
Yeah. Like there's that one scene where Dracula has like three young teenage girls locked in his closet that he later turns into his brides or whatever.
Yeah. Tom Noonan as the vampire or the Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's monster, yeah.
The coolest creature of the Black Lagoon ever.
Yeah.
How that costume hasn't been used in like other like serious Creature of the Black Lagoon films or whatever, like I don't know, because that is the coolest.
Yeah, I mean, if they ever remake Creature of the Black Lagoon, they need to like go that direction for it. It'd be awesome.
I actually got a story. I was just told the mummy in the film. Mm-hmm. He was in 7.
Was he?
And he was the guy tied up to the bed that looked all emaciated and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And no one told anybody on the crew except one person, I'm trying to remember who, that was a real dude. That no one knew that was real. They all thought it was a prosthetic guy.
Yeah.
And the actor in the film is going up there and saying, "You got what you deserved," that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And he was holding his breath the whole time while he was talking to him. And then finally he couldn't hold it anymore, so he let out that sigh. And everyone jumped back. But in the film, they really were scared. That was an actual jump back, fall over kind of a thing.
Nice.
And they really used that cut in the film. So that wasn't acting. That was actually them terrified that thing moved when they didn't expect it to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the
Come
box?
on. What's in the box?
Someone actually told me that they were actually thinking of, instead of Brad Pitt, they were actually going to try to get Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, Jesus.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Yo,
This is
come
the
on.
podcast of the worst impressions ever.
What's in the box? Come on.
Yeah, what's in the box? Yo. A rap
Hey,
burger?
yo, where'd my career go? Is it in the box? Yeah.
Oh, no. Judge Dredd killed it for you. Sorry about
Yeah. I am the law.
that. Hey, the law.
Yeah.
I like Demolition Man. Is this a
Demolition.
rap? Is that a rap
Demolition.
burger? Pretty good.
Yeah, Demolition Man's funny.
Yep.
It is a funny movie. Back when movies that bad could get away with like getting in theaters.
That was good times though.
Yeah,
It was
somehow.
fun. 'Cause That's the same time Fifth Element came out around then, and they were both fun. They were both fun films that weren't actually that bad. It just everybody ragged on them.
And that was the period somehow when Sandra Bullock still had a career. And
Yeah. Wow. Boy, I'm old. Now that you say it like that, I feel old as shit.
All right, we'll go back to you for your next pick there, Paul.
More fun tits and more fun gore. I'm going to go with Sorority Babes in Slimeball-O-Rama.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Was it Michelle Bauer?
Michelle Bauer, Linnea Quigley, and Brink Stevens.
Yep, that's right. And they're the sorority babes and these dorks are basically locked into this bowlerama, and they happen to knock over a bowling trophy that contained a magical imp, because that's what you do. And then basically the movie is then trying to get the imp back into the bottle using the help from the drunk janitor he's in every movie, noted as the drunk guy.
That was Buck Flowers, wasn't
Buck
it?
Flowers, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and we were actually going through laughing about his credentials, because every movie it says like old man, drunk old man, janitor, drunk janitor. Yeah. And then, you never see like Professor Newman or anything like that. You always see drunk man, old man, drunk man, hobo. So it was really fun. Definitely a fun film, and I was pissed that I haven't watched it earlier. So there you go. Yeah. And
that's one you can watch back to back with like Nightmare Sisters as well, which is shamelessly all about showing off the three scream queens in the nude as much as possible. That extended bathing sequence alone is worth the price.
It's almost like Chained Heat or like The Howling 2. Just watch Sybil Danning's tits the whole movie. You're happy. You're good.
Nightmare Sisters is also pretty awesome for that. The next one I'm going to mention, like I said, another Fred Decker film, Night of the Creeps.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is your dates are here. The bad news is they're dead.
Yep. That was an extremely creepy movie, too. I mean, the way it is when they fall over and then the things that splatter and all the alien leeches kind of just go everywhere. That's a pretty creepy movie. And it's a fun movie, too, at the same time. And I like the fact that there's a lot of films out there that know how to completely balance comedy, horror, and creepiness.
Yep.
And this is one of those ones that does it. And Tom Atkins, right?
Tom Atkins being a badass.
Being a badass, as usual.
Just like in the Monster Squad, there's even like some serious elements to it as well. So there's a good balance of this sort of like schlocky fun and seriousness in it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. My next pick has nothing about serious in it. It's My Name is Bruce.
My name is Bruce.
If you're a fan of Evil Dead, if you're a fan of Bruce Campbell in any way, you need to watch this film, and you need to get other people that like Bruce Campbell as well, and eat lots of pizza and drink lots of things. It's a beautiful, self-aware mockumentary almost to Bruce Campbell himself, and he just goes to town. you indulge the fans, you indulge the character, and you make fun of everything at the same time.
Yeah, it's awesome. He just plays himself as like this major fucking asshole.
Right. I love the fact that it's like basically in my idea, because we were always talking about this growing up, that they should make a film where Bruce Campbell actually fights the Army of Darkness in real life. And basically this film embodies that. It's Bruce Campbell being hired to actually fight a real demon. So that's perfect.
And the demon's like the god of bean curd or something like that.
Guandi is his name. Guandi is his game.
The Chinese believe there is a god of everything. A god of the sun, the moon, the wind, and rain.
It's hard to imagine, and it may sound absurd, but there's even a patron saint of bean curd.
Guandi is his name. Guandi is his name. Guan you, Guan me, Guandi. Guandi is his name. In the mining town of Golik, the year was 1870. The Chinese came to work and rid themselves of poverty.
Then one night it happened, disaster struck. A rumble from below, the Chinese were stuck. An old Chinaman prayed for the loved ones he so cherished, asking the saint of curd to protect the souls who perished.
Guandi is his name. Guandi is his name. Guan you, Guan me, Guandi. Guandi is his name. With flashing red eyes and a flowing white beard, everyone knew he was a god to be feared.
No living creature survived his wrath. Everyone knew not to ever cross his path.
Guandi is his name. Guandi is his name. Guan you, Guan me, Guandi. Guandi is his name. Guandi is his name.
Yep, he's the sacred god of bean curd.
Yeah,
So and Ted Raimi plays 3 different characters.
yeah.
So that's awesome. Yeah, he plays 3 different characters in the same movie. Oh, Bible. And I love it. And I don't know. What do you think about his old Chinese man? You think it's good?
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's pretty awesome. I mean,
I like his painter. I'll paint the sign. You'll paint the damn sign. I paint the beauty. I paint the beauty side.
yeah, they just have a lot of fun on that one.
Yeah, he really does. There's a lot of laughs in it.
Okay, well, I guess I got my final pick on my list of the sort of party fun movies for Halloween. I'm going to go with Wild Zero from 1999, which is a Japanese zombie movie starring, or at least featuring, the band Guitar Wolf, which is a pretty well-known Japanese rock band. This movie is almost like a vanity project for them, where it just makes them look like the coolest motherfuckers ever. It's like after you watch it, you want to go out and buy their records if you haven't had them beforehand. The best thing about it, though, is that if you get, I believe it's the Synapse Films DVD version of it. I don't know if it's on any other versions. It comes with a built-in drinking game. So every time this little beer icon comes up on the screen, you drink. So you basically watch the movie and get plastered, and it makes the movie more enjoyable, of course, because you're getting drunker as you're watching it.
Yes.
And it's a movie with like all kinds of, you know, typical Japanese weirdness, like lots of over the top gore, creepy, weird pedophile like characters and rapists, and fucking a love story that girl ends up being a transgendered character. So there's all kinds of weird shit in it, and it's really, really a lot of fun though.
There's a couple other films, and I'm trying to remember where they are, like Vampire Girl versus Frankenstein Girl, and there's another one with just trying to think of all these crazy gore splatter Japanese movies that have been coming out, that came out a couple times. I have one where it's basically this woman fights all these genetically modified people, and it's just blood everywhere, completely chaos. It's kind of like the same thing with the Frankenstein girl versus zombie girl or something, or something's like Dracula girl versus Frankenstein girl. It's just complete chaos and blood and over craziness.
Yeah, the Japanese are just like milking that kind of stuff now. It's like a few Japanese directors back in the day made some weird movies, and then now it's like caught on with all the film geeks and stuff so much that every new Japanese like horror movie or exploitation movie you see these days is like it's got to have like a girl with like a mechanical penis or something like that, or you know, shoot or like mutating into weird shit. And that's the Japanese for you. They know
the one. He was having sex with this girl, and then it bit his penis off, and it turns out and then you could just see her morph into this giant toothed vagina, basically. And her legs are just sticking out of this giant toothed vagina, and she's just laughing. He's bleeding to death, and it's almost like, do you ever see R.I.P.D.?
No, I avoided that. Like
that's actually a really good movie. It's actually really funny. I think it was enjoyable. Yeah, but basically what happens is they're already dead, and then when they get activated to the death thing, they go all crazy and mutilated and weird, and then you know. And that's kind of like what happens here. Is like these people get triggered, and then they turn into these weird ass mutant things, and then she, you know. And the thing about Japanese gore films is it's red water out of a hose. It's not. They don't fuck around with blood. They're just shooting high C at you, motherfuckers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. You got anything else on your list there, Paul? Or
I got two more. Yeah. All right. I have Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Ah, that's a good pick for
some crazy booger just gets through here. A booger is crazy booger.
I'm gonna get that hog bitch.
Yeah, this hog bitch. It's one of those fun films that it's almost refreshing that it took the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, took a very loose plot, and just the three main characters, and made a completely different fucking film.
Yeah.
They didn't try to make a part 2, really. They just, fuck it, we're just going to make a whole different film. Put Dennis Hopper cracked on a heroin with big chainsaws. We're good.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone was doing drugs when they were making that movie. I mean, I've read, like, there have been rumors, like, that Tobe Hooper was, like, a big-time cokehead for, like, a lot of the peak of his career, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and it might have to do with why he sometimes lost out getting jobs, and how, like, Steven Spielberg apparently directed most of Poltergeist, and
no shit.
Yeah. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like, what do you do after you make like one of the most iconic, creepy, scary horror movies ever made? Let's go the opposite direction and turn it into like a black comedy. So
yeah,
it's actually kind of a ballsy move.
But it's a ballsy move, and the whole site is like, okay, we have the bone-filled farmhouse. I mean, that's fine, but now we need to go completely apeshit crazy and fill this cavern with everything. Mm-hmm. Not just like a couple things, everything. I want a plane in there. I want everything. And the first kill in the movie is completely cheesy when his head kind of falls off, and you can see all this the different blood squirting out like hoses and stuff. It's pretty interesting. It's a fun film. It's one of my wife's favorite films too.
Nice.
So yep. So it's definitely one to watch, but to have fun with. Don't try to sit down and say, "Oh, I'm going to watch a serious horror movie."
Yeah.
You know, and I think this whole list is basically like that. You guys already know that you're going in there for fun.
Yeah.
My last one is if you don't have any more, or
no, I'm done.
Okay, my last one is a film that I just threw on here. I could have thrown like Piranha 2, and I mean you can throw a lot of different films on here, but one for you is I bought when I was really young. I bought it on VHS at a flea market with my grandma. It's Basket Case.
There we go.
And this was one we used to watch on Halloweens and stuff back when I was really young. So Basket Case, I had to put it on. Just crazy. And the Basket Case, you know, and then he finds a girl that had one cut off her, and they bang. And while they bang, those things bang.
Yeah.
I don't know where the cock and pussy is, but they're banging away. And it's just like, oh, it's a happy ending. Everyone's banging.
Yeah. That's one fucking twisted series. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm 9 watching things bang. Whatever. You know what I mean? There you go. We're good.
That's like just like really low budget freaky shit. And honestly, that series is a good one to watch with It's Alive series.
Yes, It's Alive and Chud.
Chud as well. Well, I wouldn't watch Chud 2 though. Bud the Chud. Oh my God, is that movie bad? Holy fuck, is that movie bad?
Some of the best movies about here, when you watch the horror genre, especially if you go into the cheeseball genre and stuff, seeing the people that you know from famous other movies, I mean, like seeing them back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
The Chud, I can't remember the guy, but from Home Alone.
I know John Goodman was in Chud.
Was he? John Goodman?
Pretty sure he was in it, yeah.
But the one guy, the crazy motherfucker that's walking around, he's from Home Alone. I can't remember his name, but he's in it. I'm like, oh my God, I know that guy. You know, like, because honestly, most people get into mainstream movies before they get into horror movies, and then they go backwards. A lot of guys don't go, you know, I'm 8, I'm just going to watch, all these zombie. I'm going to watch Dawn of the Dead. I'm going to watch this. No, you're not. You're 8. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're going to watch Home Alone, and then you're going to know that guy. And then when you're 8, 13, then you're going to watch, Chud, and you go, oh, that guy. So it is pretty fun to go back and watch all these movies and pick people out. I mean, like, oh, George Kennedy's in Death Ship. Look at that, and stuff.
George Kennedy's in every low rent horror movie back in the 1980s.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a fun film. I mean, definitely you guys put down your list of movies you like to watch on Halloween and cheese ball recommendations.
Yeah. If you guys want to leave lists either under the YouTube video or post it to us or email it to us on the Podbean site. We'll read out your lists on the next episode we record. We're going to be doing the Mario Bava episode next week. Also probably going to be doing the Bruno Mattei one next week, so we just have one in the can, because I'm going to be taking a vacation sometime this month. So yeah, so if you have your own list of Halloween films that you like to watch, whether it's like a serious list or just a list for like sort of party films that you want to sit down and enjoy with your friends, please send it to us. We'll read it out on the air and see if we agree or disagree with your choices. See if you're incredibly stupid or if you're incredibly immaculate in
you're pertinent in your decisions, my friend.
Yes.
Or you're a complete imbecile.
And I'm going to be peppering all kinds of Halloween stuff through this episode as far as music goes. I'll probably put like 1 or 2 songs right in the middle between our serious lists and our party lists. What do you think?
AKA the whole theme song from Halloween, like a whole soundtrack. He's just going to layer on with a spoon. Little Laurie Knows in there and The Thing and all this stuff. He's going to put it on. Laurie Knows is one of my favorite things from the Halloween besides the main theme.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 boom. So...
Do you want me to stick that one on the end? We could go
sure.
over that one, yeah. Tell people where they can find you on your interweb there, Paul. And
you got to go to youtube.com/PA Brew News to check out the beer scenes and various beers, reviews, whatnots, and etc. Also, I've been popping up some other stuff now and again about horror movies that I've gotten and things like that. But then you can find me on Facebook, PA Brew News, and also on YouTube for any underground metal kind of stuff. To youtube.com/funeraldust666.
Awesome. All right. So, yeah, guys, come in with your lists. Come in with comments, questions, recommendations, stuff you want us to cover in future episodes. And we will be back here sooner than later. And thank you, Paul, for joining me. And thank you, everyone, for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to They Must Be Destroyed on Sight. For our other episodes, links to Daniel, Paul, and Lee's other stuff, and links to some great podcasts of similar interest, visit us at tmbdos.podbean.com. There you can leave us comments on the site or directly email us. We listen and respond to everything. Thank you. Drive through.